Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Seed Talk. My name is Layne, and today we're going to be covering a topic that is perfect for any flower lover, and that is designing a kit with all the essential floral design tools to get yourself or a friend started in flower arranging. Back in episode 14, Lisa and I talked with Ellen Frost, the owner of Local Color Flowers, which is a floral design studio in Baltimore, Maryland, and she shared all of her top tools and supplies to get someone started. This DIY flower arranging kit is not only great to put together for yourself, but it also makes a fantastic gift for the holidays and beyond. Enjoy!
So number one, our most used tool are obviously our clippers. We use them every single day, every single arrangement. There's no getting around having a good pair of clippers. And for us, we use the Sabaton 1218. That is a Japanese company. We love that brand and that actual clipper because the grip on them is kind of on the smaller side. So if you have smaller hands, the opening is not very wide and the grip is kind of on the smaller side. So those are our favorite clippers, but you can, find a good pair of gardening clippers. I think that's the number one thing. And then I would
Perfect.
say like additional things. So think about mechanics. Everybody is looking for alternatives to Oasis and floral foam. So, helping somebody get a handle on their mechanics would be great. So something like, this is not very glamorous, but this is really like the things that you need to get started, right? You need a roll of good chicken wire. And I would say like a 1-inch hole for the chicken wire is about what we think is the best for design. That's like a hole that's big enough to keep flowers in place, but not so small that you can't fit large stems in there. So a good roll of chicken wire would be great. You might also think about like a frog or two. So floral frogs are another mechanic that we use a lot. I would highly recommend Floral Genius as the source for your flower frogs. They're the last American company making flower frogs, and they're a women-owned company. And the two that we use most are the pin frog and the little cup holder. They have tons of sizes and shapes available, but I would say anybody who's doing design at home would love to have a couple of frogs on hand for their mechanics. So let's see. So you've got clippers, you've got mechanics, and then I would say, like, especially for somebody just getting started, a great idea is to have like 1 or 2 vases that are your go-to vases that you practice in all the time. So that way you can get a handle on how flowers work, how they behave in arrangements, but at least when you're starting, you don't have to worry about doing that in a different vase every time. So maybe finding like a potter or a ceramicist in your community who does vases, and find like 1 or 2, maybe one that you don't need any mechanics for. So maybe something in the like 4-inch by 4-inch kind of size. And then maybe something that you could use a mechanic in, that you could use a frog or a chicken wire in. And that might be something like a low bowl or a compote, something that has maybe a lower, wider opening, maybe like a 5 or 6-inch opening, but that's pretty shallow. So for me, like I have my 2 or 3 go-to vases at home. And when I bring flowers home, those are the 3 that I always practice in. So I have 1 compote, 1 little tiny vase, and then like a larger vase where I can use like taller stuff for. So I would say definitely those. And then if you want to get like a little bit, like as people learn, they're going to start to try new things. So maybe some waterproof tape that you can also use to create a grid on any kind of vase. So
Right.
that's another mechanic. And then you might want to think about maybe some stem wire that just is going to help you if you want to, like we use stem wire sometimes in arrangements like for ranunculus or tulips when we want to take sort of a floppier stem and give it a little more oomph. So you might think about a little bit of stem wire for a florist getting started. But I would say like those are good tools to put together a little package for somebody and give somebody sort of the confidence to get started in floral design because they've got the right tools in front of them.
I love that. And I love the idea of the two different size vases to practice on.
Mhm.
That is such a great tip. Lisa, do you have anything you would like to add to the list that you can think of?
Well, I think that that's really, really great. And actually, your shears are the same shears that we used, Ellen.
Oh,
That
yeah.
is, yeah, yeah. So we do have those. Um, and so our favorite go-to vase, I think I'll just share this little tip. Our favorite
Yeah.
go-to vase are gravy boats. They're
Oh,
short and they're wide, and most of us have them and never make gravy anymore, although we
Yeah.
make gravy in our family. But they're just a perfect little tabletop vase. And
Mhm.
so many of us have pretty ones were our grandma's. And so that's kind of like a short, wide type.
Yep.
And really, you can use it with mechanics or without,
Or
as long as
without.
it's not clear. Yeah. So that
Yeah.
is my go-to tip
I
is
love it.
gravy boats. Yeah.
well, I hope that inspired you to put together a flower arranging kit for yourself or another flower lover in your life. I'll put Ellen's contact information in the show notes, as well as links to where you can sign up for her newsletter and learn more about her online community, Flower More. You might also be interested in her online courses with the Gardener's Workshop, who sponsors this podcast. All that information will be linked in the show notes. Thanks so much for joining us. Please be sure to follow or subscribe wherever you're watching or listening. And until next time, happy growing!